Good afternoon and welcome to this executive meeting. This meeting has been called for the purpose of reviewing the context of the gross or serious misconduct policy for the CA City Retail Group, especially in the context of staff taking petty cash for personal use. I understand that this topic has caused a considerable amount of controversy. Nevertheless, I expect that those in attendance will conduct themselves in a professional manner. Here today we have myself, Edward Shands, CEO, Michael Ruicks, Chief Finance Officer, and Lucy Lewinsky, Director of Human Resources. As there are 3 members of the executive present, we have a quorum and can proceed with this meeting. Therefore, I now declare this meeting open. I will mention now that there will be refreshments available at the conclusion of the meeting. Lucy Lewinsky will be taking the minutes. The apologies for this meeting are Marissa Shands, Chief Operations Officer, Olivia Chandley, Chief Marketing Officer, Anna French, Director of Logistics, Michael Jordan, Director of Community Affairs, and Sheila Sanders, Director of Environmental Compliance. Now, can I confirm that all attendees have received and reviewed the documents that were provided? These were the meeting agenda, the gross or serious misconduct policy for the CA City Retail Group, and a financial statement showing the amount of money lost from petty cash over the previous financial year. Were these documents received and reviewed?
Yes.
If you haven't brought the documents with you today, there are copies over here if required. Now for the first item on the agenda. Should the taking of money from petty cash by staff be a matter for financial management or human resources management? I am aware that opinions on this matter vary. The matter of staff taking money is certainly a concern for the company, and thus it is important that a decision is made on this.
I don't believe that such small staff indiscretions warrant such concern. Where is proof that this is happening at all?
The financial report provided shows that there is some money going missing. It isn't a large amount of money, but it still raises concerns. Michael, do you have anything to add?
It is not a large amount of money. That's why it isn't really a matter for financial management. The fact that our staff think it's okay to take money in the first place is what worries me. That's why this is a matter for human resources.
I am far too busy to chase up such a small problem. I have a lot of projects happening at the moment, and this isn't a priority for me.
Well, maybe it should be a priority. Maybe you need to manage your time better.
Don't tell me how to do my job.
We will remain professional during this meeting. It would be helpful to have the views of the other members of the executive management team, though unfortunately they were unable to make the meeting. However, I did discuss this matter with each of them, and they did agree that this is a concern. Lucy, do you have anything to say about this?
Well, I suppose there is cause for concern if money is going missing. I think there needs to be some sort of collaboration between human resources and financial management to solve this problem. I simply do not have the time or resources to sort this out on my own.
I do still believe that this is primarily a matter of human resources, but I suppose that we could work together to sort this out.
I believe that we have come to an agreement on this item. In summary, there is money being taken from petty cash, which is a cause for concern. While this is primarily a concern for human resources, the financial management team will need to provide some input to solve this matter. The second item on the agenda is, should the gross or serious misconduct policy be improved? I am aware that Lucy believes that the policy is adequate at present, while Michael would like to see some changes. I have already discussed this matter with the non-present executive management team members, and a number of them agreed that we need to make some changes. Michael, what are your concerns with the current policy?
The current policy is just too vague and ambiguous. It says what to do if gross or serious misconduct occurs, but it doesn't actually state what is considered to be gross or serious misconduct.
That's why the policy states that management should seek advice before taking the next step. The advice is to find out if the alleged offence is considered gross or serious misconduct.
Wouldn't it be easier to make the policy clear so that the decision can be made more quickly and without tying up other people?
So that staff can be dismissed without due consideration of the alleged offence?
Come to order. This isn't achieving anything. I tend to agree with Michael that the current policy does not contain enough detail. Michael, what types of misconduct do you believe would warrant instant dismissal?
Well, I read over the Australian Fair Work regulations for serious misconduct policy, and it provides actual examples of what could lead to instant termination. It had things like theft, fraud, assault, and intoxication. Our policy needs to list these specific things so that you know when instant dismissal is warranted.
I think we all realise that those sorts of things would call for instant dismissal. Surely there is no need to list them on the policy?
The executive might be aware of what constitutes serious misconduct, but the rest of the staff obviously ain't. Why else would they risk instant dismissal by stealing?
Do you really think that all of the staff read the policy and procedures handbook and then decide to steal money because it isn't specifically listed as serious misconduct?
We will take a vote on this matter. All those in favour of changing the current gross or serious misconduct policy, raise your hand. We have a majority in favour of changing the policy. The changes will be decided upon at a further meeting. Now for the next item on the agenda. Should staff who take money from petty cash supplies be immediately dismissed? This is closely related to the previous item, but I believe that it warrants a separate discussion. Lucy, what is your opinion on this matter?
Well, I am still not completely convinced that this is happening. If there isn't a great amount of money going missing, then it isn't really a big issue, is it?
The financial report clearly shows that staff are taking money from petty cash. There is no question about it. It isn't a lot of money, but the fact that the staff are taking money at all is the real issue. We need staff that can be trusted.
We can't dismiss staff for every tiny indiscretion. Surely some sort of lesser disciplinary action would be enough.
The Australian Fair Work regulations identifies theft as due cause for instant dismissal. That's what this is. It is theft.
What sort of disciplinary action would you propose, Lucy? It would have to be severe enough to match such serious misconduct.
I think a strike system would work. Each employee would have 3 strikes. If they use their 3 strikes, then they would be dismissed. It isn't fair to just dismiss staff after one little mistake.
That is an interesting idea, Lucy. Michael, do you think this would work?
No, I don't think there should be a 3-strike system. People who take money from petty cash for personal use are thieves. There is no question about it. Theft is a criminal offence. We should not be employing people capable of this. If they are capable of this, what else are they capable of? They cannot be trusted.
You can't equate a couple of dollars going missing here and there with bank robbery.
It's not about the amount of money going missing, it's the principle.
Well, you have both certainly made your positions clear on this matter. I personally agree with Michael that taking money from petty cash for personal use does constitute serious misconduct. Providing that we can prove without doubt that a staff member is doing this, I believe that instant dismissal is called for. It is important that the staff of CA City Retail Group show integrity and trustworthiness at all times. We will take a vote on this matter. All those in favour of instant dismissal for staff who take money from petty cash supplies for personal use, raise your hands. We have a majority in favour of instant dismissal. The final item on the agenda is not really a matter for discussion. The final item is the importance of avoiding conflict between members of the executive, especially in front of other staff members. Several staff members have contacted me in the past week about the confrontation that occurred between the two of you in the lunchroom. I am very disappointed that this occurred. You both clearly feel very passionate about this issue. However, it is inappropriate for a difference of opinion to lead to open confrontation in the workplace. Do either of you have anything to say on this matter?
I agree that the argument should not have taken place. However, I was very frustrated that nothing was being done about the matter. I have voiced my concerns about this on several occasions.
I'm aware that you are impatient for a resolution on this matter, Michael. However, that does not call for a confrontation. If you anticipate that things could get heated, it is best to seek mediation before beginning a discussion. Lucy, do you have anything to say?
I was aware that Michael had issues with the current serious misconduct policy. However, I am very busy and I have many projects in motion at present. I really don't have time to take on another project at this time.
This is a serious issue and you need to make the time for it. It is your job as a Director of Human Resources to look after policies for staff members.
Michael, while you have a point, there is no need to be rude. We must remain professional in the workplace, especially in front of other staff members. In future, if there is any possibility of a discussion between executive management members becoming heated, mediation must be sought immediately. I believe that we have covered some very important issues this afternoon and made some progress. I will now summarise the meeting outcome. We have decided that while the taking of petty cash for personal use is primarily an issue for human resources, there does need to be some assistance from the financial management team. We have also decided that the gross or serious misconduct policy in the CA City Retail Group Policies and Procedures Handbook needs to be improved, and a future meeting will be scheduled for this purpose. We have also decided that staff who take money from petty cash for personal use could be subject to instant dismissal, providing that adequate proof can be found. Finally, we have agreed that confrontations in the workplace are grossly inappropriate and must be avoided at all costs. I would like to thank you both for your attendance, patience and participation in this meeting. I understand that it has been difficult. I now declare this meeting closed.